Hello, my beautiful and talented people. Thank you to everybody who's been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and booking readings. I really appreciate it. Today we're asking, next relationship, who will you date next? So my gorgeous pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. Figure out which one feels right to you. Just want to remind everybody that I am going to have another giveaway at 8,000 subscribers. So be subscribed and comment, and you are in the running for that. So my gorgeous darlings, let's move on to pile number 1. Also, if you want to contact me, my email is in the description right below the timestamps. And if you do want to book with me, my email is the best way to contact me. I'm not going to solicit anybody via the comments, so if that happens, it is not me. So just make sure that you use that. And any reading is about 48 hours right now. So my gorgeous and talented people, time for pile number 1. So my gorgeous angel, who will you date next? King of Swords. Somebody who's very smart, very cerebral. Who will your next relationship, who will you date next? 5 of Pentacles. We'll revisit that. 4 of Swords. And the 8 of Cups. You may need to walk away from something that isn't fulfilling your needs. And have some healing. So this is emotionally walking away from something that is unfulfilling. This is not having your needs met, which of course would be unfulfilling. And this is a healing process. So I feel like you may need to walk away from something in order to bring this next person into your life. But it does seem to be something that is unfulfilling. So I feel like you shouldn't be afraid of walking away or taking the time to heal from whatever may have really hurt your heart, because the 4 of Swords is the healing after heartbreak and pain. So I feel like don't be afraid to walk away from things that, aren't giving to you. Who will you date next, my gorgeous pile number 1s? Who will you date next? The World. It's going to be a different cycle. You are going to break out of one cycle and move into another one. And you are going to make a successful transition doing this, which is going to bring somebody that is going to add a lot of harmony and balance into your life. And you're going to go from the 5 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles, because you won't be in the same cycles. You will have learned what you needed to learn and basically graduated that cycle. So even if it's presented to you again, you're not going to choose the things that don't serve you. So your next relationship is going to be harmonious and very successful. 9 of Swords. There is a need to deal with your fear, your anxiety, maybe even your fear and anxiety about walking away from other situations, because that fear and anxiety is being a block to you. And of course, we have the final major arcana and the very first one. The transition from an old cycle into a new one, but it's also about not bringing your baggage with you. So you can have a very, very balanced, harmonious, very stable relationship, But you also need to not bring in some of the baggage that you may have from other situations in which your needs weren't being met. Just know that your next situation, you're really, really, you do need to walk away from something, but you're just leaning into success, having a brand new beginning, but it does take risk. And it does mean that you won't be able to take everything with you on that new journey, just the things that matter. So I see you transitioning from a lot of lack into a lot of abundance. Actually, I want to do this one first. So, who will you date your next relationship? 5 of Pentacles came out again. Are you going to have 5 of Pentacles? Because I have the 5 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords. It's about not getting your needs met, but feeling stuck. But it's like the truths that you're telling yourself or keeping yourself stuck with are not necessarily true. Okay, I'm seeing a big transition, but I'm also seeing there's a need to get out of your own way, because you can manifest a very, very successful relationship, and you very much deserve to have that relationship, but there may be some kind of things going on in your headspace, a prison of the mind, that keeps you in these situations in which your needs aren't being met. It could be with a specific person, or you may have certain thoughts that, once you free yourself from, you're just going to have success. But there is this need to get out of your own way, because it's like the 8 of Swords and the 8 of Cups, the need to emotionally walk away, a need to clear your mind of the limitations that you think you have, because you are absolutely meant to have abundance and stability. You absolutely deserve to have that manifested to you, but you need to have your eyes on what you want, not on what you fear. Your next relationship, who will you date next? Who will you date next? Oh, Page of Cups. Is this your own emotional growth? Again, you need to walk away. 8 of Cups the second time. I feel like you need to walk away from emotionally immature people. So you need to know that, yes, you can manifest this, but this is not going to automatically happen if you aren't walking away from people and situations you don't deserve, or who don't deserve you. So again, needing to clear up your head, needing to emotionally walk away, especially emotionally walking away from people who are selfish, who are not giving to you. Because this character is leaving other people without. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Strength. But again, you have all the power you need to overcome this. The limitations that are in your mind are not real limitations for you. You don't need to stay in a place of lack. You're actually meant to have abundance. You can manifest abundance, but you do have to have your own self-control. You do need to have a place where you're like, this is what I want. If anything I'm doing is not getting me that, mastering yourself. And, we do need to be kind to ourselves because, maybe we are attracted to something that is, unhealthy for us because of something unconscious. It can be how we were hurt in the past and we want to rewrite history. But again, 8 of Swords yet again. You are going to get the relationship you feel like you deserve. But keep in mind, you're going to get the relationship you feel like you deserve. So you can stay in a mindset that is not completely accurate. Or you could let yourself have the abundance that you actually truly deserve. But you need to walk away from the fear, and you need to walk away from your limitations, and you need to walk away from anybody who doesn't treat you well. And you need to not be afraid to do that. Because if you do that, what you're going to be walking in to that 10 of Pentacles, to that real security, to your own emotional stability and stability within a relationship. But you're choosing what you manifest, and you can definitely, like any negative cycle you have, you can graduate it, you can overcome it, you're strong enough. But you deserve to have a peaceful, balanced relationship where there can be all the balance you need, but you need to get out of your head, and you need to not accept limitations that aren't actually true for you. If there's any part of you that's telling you you are unlovable, you are not. But you also need to not put yourselves in situations to maybe prove that hurtful thing to yourself. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Forget a trend. What outfit do you feel comfortable in? Forget how other people see things. What's good for you? Create a wind down routine. Turn off your phone an hour before bed. Have some tea. Whatever you need to rest your mind and heart. And I do feel like you need to rest your mind and heart. Like there is this, healing from lack and loss. And maybe you do need more sleep, or maybe you just need to be really kind to yourself while you're going through that healing. But getting to a place where you walk away from people and situations that don't take care of you in return, and release yourself from self-limiting beliefs. Now the upside is, it's like you can, like the things that are blocking you are things in your control. You can take care of them. Doesn't mean that it's easy, just like diet and exercise isn't easy, but it is something that is in your control. I mean, depending on health. Cosmic connection. Now, cosmic connection can mean that you will bring in somebody that is a very significant person to you. But it also, if you notice that all the chakras are aligned here, it's like balance within self, grounding, is putting us in alignment with divine. And that alignment with the divine puts us in a place of success. where we learn the lessons that we need to learn so that we can have the happiness that we deserve. And you putting yourself in alignment is going to put you in alignment with somebody else who has that level of alignment too. But I feel like you do need to not be afraid to walk away from what's not working. I have the angel wing. So just know that you are being guided by the divine. But we have ideas that may not serve us anymore. So I feel like there is some kind of transition that you're going to make on your way to your next very successful relationship. But there is, things that need to be evolved. But the upside is you will find happiness and wish fulfillment, and it's going to be more wish fulfillment than you ever expected it to be. Like the payoff is going to be much bigger than what you can conceive. But you do have to be responsible for your own actions and your own choices. We have the sigh. And that can be like more, more psychic, but maybe more attached to the divine. Doesn't mean that you have to become psychic, but once the things that maybe not second guess so much. I've got daughter twice, 2 daughters. It's possible that you may have 2 daughters in this next relationship. I've got the letter I, but it's also a definite article as in yourself. And we have the pyramid, which is about kind of climbing Maslow's hierarchy of needs and moving from, just needs and base wants to being able to ascend to greater self-actualization. So I feel like you are on your way to greater self-actualization, and I feel like this very steady, very harmonious relationship is kind of going to be a byproduct of that. So I feel like don't forget yourself. And while we need to be kind to ourselves, and if somebody is bad to us, we're not responsible for them being bad to us, but we are responsible for our responses to it. And at some point, if we continue to engage with it, we have to ask ourselves why, so that we can break out of cycles and have brand new beginnings. But I've got sadness. I've got H and Q. It's almost like headquarters. And I have the Wonder Woman. So that is very much about being that best version of ourselves, using the power that we do have for good. And we've got in. So I've got in, and I just threw it on my keyboard. And I have the Joker, which is the Fool. I feel like you need to let yourself be in a place where anything can happen. Because the Fool, anything can happen. It is the 0 card of the deck for a reason. So there is healing, but I feel like you need to walk away from things that just don't serve you. And yeah, I feel like you're getting so much goodness out of this, but you need to be able to give yourself rest in your heart and your mind space. And maybe you need to sleep better. But just know that you doing that is bringing you more towards a very harmonious connection. But I feel like that harmony needs to be found within yourself because it is going to put you more in line with what the universe wants for you, which is abundance, and is you just being amazing. So I do see a very, very beneficial next relationship, something great, but you need to make choices and you need to let go of things. And the most important thing is to let go of the limitations you put on yourself, which might be limitations that somebody at some point put on you and you just believed were true. But it's not. It's just not. So there is some kind of healing and self-discovery here. And you won't be able to just farm all this out on somebody else. But you will receive something that is amazing and is truly worthy of you. And it's going to be so much better than you can conceive, that you can even think of right now. So I'm happy for you. So I hope that this helps you. If you do want a free reading, I'm going to give away 2 as soon as I hit 8,000 subscribers. So be subscribed and comment, and you are in the running for that. I want to say thank you to all of you. I deeply appreciate you. And if you do want to book with me, my email's in the description right below the timestamps. Right now my readings are about 48 hours. Make sure you use that email, because occasionally scammers might come through in the comments, and I would just want to make sure that everybody in our community is safe. So my gorgeous angels, it's time for pile number 2. Pile number 2, my gorgeous angels. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Queen of Swords. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Page of Pentacles. Feel like you may be starting to communicate with somebody. Somebody who's very bright. They do seem like they won't respond well to games. So but you could really build something with them. Who's this King of Wands? King of Wands. 5 of Cups. Are there 2 people in this reading? I feel like for not all, but some of you, there are 2 people in this reading. I feel like some of you have regrets regarding somebody, or somebody, created some grief. For others of you, I feel like you might need to be somewhat action-oriented in this connection. That doesn't mean that you need to do 100% of the work, because then you are not in a relationship. You are just doing all the work for somebody. But I am seeing, are you setting a boundary with somebody? I feel like some of you are maybe starting something new, maybe, and it is an opportunity to build up some stability with you. And you could have some regrets or sadness or grief regarding somebody else, or there may need or you may just have some things that you need to refocus on, or you might be focused on a loss in some other place. It doesn't need to be romantic, but you may need to be focused on the good in some kind of situation. Because the 5 of Cups, it's loss, it's not feeling great about things, but it's also, there is a built-in silver lining. There's something that you could be paying attention that will make you happier. Your next relationship. 8 of Cups. for some of you, you're walking away from something or someone that isn't fulfilling you. And there is, there is this built-in potential for something to be built. So your next relationship for the gorgeous and talented pile number 2, the moon. It's funny because we got moon symbolism here, moon symbolism there. Well, literally the moon. The moon is about the subconscious and feelings. I don't know if you've been putting a lot of work in yourself, maybe to understand what's going on below the surface. But the moon also has the dog and the wolf. There's a need to trust your intuition regarding who you can trust. It's like friend or foe. So I almost feel like you need to maybe question your priorities a little bit. Make sure that if something is not fulfilling you, you're not continuing to invest in it. Because you may have to move into the unknown to move forward. Who will you date? Your next relationship. Your next relationship is going to offer a lot more stability. It's something that might start small, but it will keep building in just realness. Pardon me. So, if there was a little bit of buzzing, I apologize. So, I'm getting some transition because there's an end. Are you having a new beginning with somebody? I feel like there being, two potential people here. There's, a need to maybe shift focus. We have, it's always darkest before the dawn, but there is a dawn here, needing to walk away from what is not fulfilling so that you can have greater stability. Dropping things as I do. Is your next, I just feel like you're having trouble moving forward. And you need to let go of something that isn't healthy for you. Because there's something being held on to that needs to be walked away from. And there's an ability to build stability. But there's an ending, and I feel like there needs to be an ending to something unhealthy. So maybe you will meet this person by ending something that's unhealthy. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a relationship, but the moon comes out again. Your path in front of you, it's like you're going to have to be able to tell who you can trust and who you can't. Who is healthy and who is unhealthy for you. And you have every ability to build something healthy with somebody who will offer you something that's worth having. And for some of you, like, you're going to have to set a boundary and enough, or you may have to walk away from something that you do that is unhealthy. And it doesn't mean that you are horrible or that everything's wrong with you. It just means that you are human And sometimes we have wounding, and sometimes our wounding causes us to not be good to ourselves, and sometimes not be, but it's like a need to let go, because this is like holding on because of fear, being restricted because of it. And this is fear and unknown, and I feel like there should be a lot less fear in the unknown than continuing to deal with something that doesn't heal you. So I feel like you're going to have to go on a little bit of a journey. And even if something ends, there is a dawn. The ending creates a new beginning. But yeah, you're going to have to look at your subconscious and your choices. You're going to have to decide whether you walk away from things that are unhealthy for you, or if you reinvest in things that are unhealthy for you. But know that that won't make it something that's healthy for you. It's just reinvesting in something that isn't. So I feel like some of you might be afraid. Some of you might have another option that would be healthier for you, but they are somebody that you're going to have to be pretty straightforward with. Four of there's a couple things here. So this is again a fear of loss, and a fear of loss that keeps you holding on to something that doesn't allow real abundance to come into you. So you could be holding on too tightly to something, and it could also lead you to hold back too much from something that could be better for you. So your next relationship is going to heavily depend on your decisions but I do feel like, because if you invest in things that are unhealthy for you, you are going to get unhealthy results. And if you're afraid to walk away from something that's bad for you, you're keeping yourself from building stability in your life. So you will have options. You will have people who are good for you, and you will have people who are bad for you. And you need to decide who you invest in, who you put your actions in. Whether you are building stability and walking away from the things that are unhealthy, or whether you're continuing to engage in them. So, like, the universe is really saying this is up to you, and this is up to your choices. But if you get to a place where you won't do this anymore, you're going to attract in somebody that's in alignment with that also won't put up with that kind of thing in their life, that you will be able to connect to on an intellectual level in a very strong way. And you will be able to have a very successful relationship with this person. But you have to decide what you want, and you need to be willing to make the cuts of the things that don't serve you if you want happiness. But you can have a relationship. You can have a very happy relationship. But you need to be willing to start a new emotional journey. Your next relationship. Be honest about who and what makes you happy. Yeah. Know what you want. Don't put up with what isn't that. And instead of having all this fear and lack of knowing, you're just going to have clarity and happiness. So just know that is what you walking away from the things that don't serve you causes. It's going to bring you happiness, but I know it's scary because it is change. Find your team, tribe, squad, and crew and help each other excel. Yeah, you need to be outside of your romantic interests. You need to just be bringing into the people who really support you, who really build you up, who, who you are, the real you, and they like and accept, and also may not put up with anytime you might be bringing bull to the table. New chapter. You can have a brand new beginning. You can have a new chapter. You can you can cut out the things that don't serve you and figure out who really makes you happy, and you're going to have somebody that will fit that bill. But you need to find your tribe. You need to find those safe spaces. And I feel like it is not just with this person. I feel like in general that is something that you should be searching for. Because you should be like reinforcing your life with the people who are really down for you. Because that's going to help with your next chapter. I've got the rat. I feel like some of you are dealing with, maybe currently, maybe just in times in the past, have been really dealing with people who aren't straightforward, that don't, aren't looking out for you, that are avoidant, Walking away brings a new chapter. Knowing what you want helps you cut out what you don't. But you do need to cut out what you don't want to get that other person that's on the same wavelength. Calm. Feel like you're going to find some real calm clarity, even though you may feel a little lost right now. Rebirth. And this is also judgment. So it's like learning the lessons from the people in your life. And especially if you're dealing with something over and over and over again, you may have to think about, what am I supposed to learn from this so I don't relive it? So I don't have these kind of people in my life. So I only have supportive people in my life. We've got the owl with wisdom. So there's a need to learn again. And put that learning into practice, because I feel like you are somebody that is precious and individual, and nobody is actually like you. And again, your tribe, the people that really will appreciate that, who really respect and see the value in you, because it's already there. You just may need to refocus your energy on outside of unhealthy people to healthy ones. So, good fortune. I feel like you're going to bring in a connection with good fortune. We've got we've got the initials D and G. It might be initials. It may have some other significance. It's probably only for some of you, but what about my 7 of Cups? This is really asking you to think about your choices. What are you prioritizing? Because if you're holding on to stuff that doesn't serve you, you're not allowing the greatest amount of abundance to come to you. So you need to make sure that you're making good choices regarding the people you allow in your life, both friends and loved ones, and, you know, romantic partners as well, because not all choices are equal. Some choices are a rattlesnake and some choices are a happy home. And you need to be able to discern which one is which. So I hope that this helps. I actually feel like I didn't take any of these cards, anything more regarding their next relationship. Again, new beginning. So because we have the stork of bringing of good news, a new beginning, possibly children for some of you, if that is what you're searching for. But yeah, broom. Things need to be swept away. Yeah, so you can have a very, very successful new beginning, a new start, but you need to sweep away to what does not serve you. You need to be able to tell the difference between the people who are good for you and the people who are bad for you, so you don't relive unhealthy cycles. So you don't hold on to people who are going to betray your trust. So I do feel like you're going to have to put some work in, but you really can have a new start. But I feel like you're going to have to get a little bit no nonsense, and you're eventually going to attract somebody that is also no nonsense. But to have that, like, you can't have this no nonsense person if you're still putting up with a lot of nonsense. New beginning, new start. And, you know, yeah, you really need to be aware of the people you're choosing. Because not everybody is going to be an equal choice. So I hope that helps you. If you do want a free reading, I'm giving away 2 as soon as I hit 8,000 subscribers. So just make sure that you are subscribed and you comment, and you're in the running for that. If you do want to contact me, my email's in the description. Just make sure that if you want to book a reading with me, that's the way you go about it, because I'm not going to solicit anybody in the comments. So just make sure that if you use that email in the description, I'm the only one who can edit it. So if you do want to book, my emails with my readings are about 48 hours from payment. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you. We're going to move on to pile number 3. Your next relationship. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Pile number 3. Ooh, Tower. I feel like it's really important that you are building on something stable. Also, the stone that came out is onyx. Onyx is very grounding. It's really important, the choice that you make, so that your next relationship doesn't fall apart. Balance. Knight of Wands. All right. Tower is, of course, not the funnest thing to get right away. But you have choices, you have options. And there needs to be some kind of balance. I feel like if you want to build on a strong foundation, make sure that you have some balance going on with yourself, that you're not dealing with somebody that is inconsistent or being inconsistent. I feel like really the focus is on the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is about, it's illusion or clarity. Like, it's about lots of options and fantasies, but there's a need to really figure out that, not every option is worth having. So there are options for you that would be stable. There are options, and those options are not going to lead to everything falling apart. But there's a need to choose stability, because all twos are choices, pentacles are stability, and the Two of Pentacles can often be a hard time finding that balance. But I think that you may need to deal with your fears and anxieties, because your fears and anxieties quite possibly could have you making decisions that aren't the best for you, with either people who are inconsistent or causing you to be inconsistent, which causes there to be an ending kind of built into that new beginning. So with your new relationship, whatever it is, you need to be thinking about, is this something that I can build on? Is this somebody that's building with me? Because there is some kind of energy and effort that needs to be put in here. There is a foundation that needs to be built, so things aren't just imbalanced until they fall apart. The Five of Cups. For some of you, this could be maybe somebody that in the past there might have been some disappointment regarding, or for some of you that might be the case. But again, that's only if this person is offering you some kind of stability. But there might also be a need for, if it's not somebody from the past, there might be a need for you to focus not on what has been lost in the future, what has fallen apart in the future, but what can you build now? If things have fallen over because maybe they weren't taken seriously, what is stable? Because the Two of Cups are standing stable and strong, that loving, reciprocating happiness. But there is a need to refocus and prioritize to see what choices are good for you. Who will you date your next relationship? Chariot. So you can move forward, and you can move forward with speed towards success. But again, there's that balance, because these two horses need to be going in the same direction, and this represents your shadow side and that represents your higher self. You need to get on board with yourself to build what you want, so you have something stable, which takes some effort and building, versus something that is just structurally unsound. So You are going to have to balance yourself out so you don't get in the way of your success. You're moving forward. You moving away from things being very imbalanced to something that is very successful. I feel like there's going to be something that makes you excited, that maybe you are a little bit not sure, that, again, some of you, it's not all of you, but some of you might be dealing with somebody that you may have maybe started to build a foundation with, but maybe that foundation wasn't fully put into place and things did fall apart. So for some of you, there could be a return there. It's not for all of you. Some of you, it's like you need to decide where you're planting. What are you putting your time and energy into something that cannot be sound, or are you putting your time and energy into something that can be built into something stronger? Again, the limitation is within yourself, which is, rough, but it also means that it's something that you can control. And again, you don't control any other human being, but you can find the balance so that we've got the little yin-yang charm in the middle, where you can find that balance between your shadow and your light, where you can be moving forward to something that is really successful. But there is a need to have a little bit of an overview, because there's the Judgment card. So judgment can be karma, but it can also just be, it's like when the universe is, trying to show you something over and over again, and they're showing you maybe what changes you need to make, maybe what would be better for you, but you still need to make those choices or relive the same cycles until you're tired of getting the same tower. But the universe is giving you an ability to see a big picture, see what you may need to leave behind so you can grow, allow you to become a better and more evolved version of self. Who will you next date in your next relationship? Yeah, but instead of there being a lack of balance, you're transitioning to something where there is a lot of fairness and generosity on both sides. So some part of you might be having trouble making this transition. Either you're defensive, and if you recognize that maybe you haven't been seeing things clearly and that maybe you have to change, that is something that would allow you to let go of the things that aren't serving you. But there's a part of you that may be a little resistant to that. And, maybe... so with the Seven of Cups coming out a second time, there's some kind of unhealthy pattern in either how you're making your choices, or maybe holding on to options that aren't healthy for you. So again, this is something that you can let go of, you can leave behind. And in fact, the Tower is here to free you from the devil. The Tower is like, well, you keep on choosing something and like, are you tired of doing that? And the Judgment card helps you see clearly so you can let it go. So feel like there is some kind of transition for you, moving out of very unstable things into things that can be really rewarding and equal and balanced. But it is important for you to let go of any unhealthy patterns you have or any unhealthy choices you make in other people. Get another plate. Hashtag no regrets. Again, some of you may need to just choose a different option. If you're wrong, be wrong, admit it, and then get over it. So, at some point, you may have been wrong. It doesn't mean that you're horrible. It doesn't mean that you can't be better. And you know, if you've been wrong in how you've treated somebody, get over it, admit it, and do better. And if you've been wrong in the people that you've been choosing, admit it so you can get over it. So you can move forward to that success. So you can have balanced relationships. So you can have joy. So you can have stability. Believe. So I feel like there needs to be some belief in you that allows you to thrive for more. And I love that the ship came out. It's also the 10 of Swords in there, but it's like you have the ability to move forward emotionally from hard things that may have happened that are over, but you need to put in some action to get over blocks that you have. So, get you some charms. Yeah. It's time to do this. It's time to learn. It's time to grow. It's time to invest your time better. Because it's going to bring good things to you. It's going to bring appreciation. It's going to bring abundance. I've got the letters G-A-B. Because I feel like there may be things that, you know, may be giving you some kind of happiness, but they're not good for you. And deep down, like they're, you know, whatever it is, it's not lasting happiness. You end up being kind of sad for it. I feel like you need to embrace yourself, the weird, interesting, different person that you are, and continue to grow. And yes, if you've been doing something wrong, give yourself a wake-up call. And just realize that that doesn't mean that you're the only person who's done anything wrong, but like, the Judgment card's here for a reason. And your limitations can be overcome. But you do need to move forward emotionally. You do need to, if there have been blocks in your way, you need to be willing to overcome them. So I've got the, why is the there? Success. So you can have the success you want in a relationship. But you may have to do slightly different things. And you may have to make slightly different choices. So, I hope that helped you. If you do want a free reading, I'm giving away 2 as soon as I hit 8,000 subscribers. So just make sure that you are subscribed and you comment and you are in the running for that. If you want to book with me, my email's in the description right below the timestamp. Just make sure that you use that if you want to book with me, because I'm not going to solicit anybody in the comment section. If that happens, it's not me. And just to keep our community safe. My readings are about 48 hours out right now. So thank you so much. I deeply appreciate you. And it's time to move on to pile 4. All right, my gorgeous and talented pile number 4. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. 8 of Pentacles is the first that comes out. 9. All right, well, that's good, because there is some kind of wish fulfillment. I feel like you may have been putting a lot of energy and effort into something. I don't know if it's a relationship so much as like you've been building something for yourself, and you've been bringing some happiness and joy to your life, and I feel like that's going to help manifest in. Yeah. We have the Magician, as I say, manifest. So like anything you're doing to make yourself really happy and stable and building yourself up, stability wise, financial. It's like this is helping to bring in, you know, the affection that you deserve to receive from other people as well. But I feel like some of what you're doing is just really strongly manifesting right now. And you are manifesting in kind words and affection. For some of you, you may be receiving an apology from somebody. All right. That card fell somewhere, but I will find it eventually. So, some of you might be receiving an apology. Oh, gosh. Yeah, when I say you might be receiving an apology, some of you are really receiving an apology. Somebody is going to get pretty candid with you, and it may be about somebody who has been avoiding you or acting poorly towards you. You may very well get some kind of communication from that person. This person, you know, I feel like you very much might be getting some kind of apology. And I do believe that we shouldn't wait for apologies, because they may never come. But I do see that you might be having somebody who's going to come and communicate. And, yeah. Because there may be somebody in your life that feels guilty. Your next date, your next relationship. Ooh, the Moon. So the mood can be like being able to choose who is good for you, who is bad for you. It's also dealing with what's going on below the surface in an emotional sense. And while it can cause a lot of fear and confusion, if you follow your intuition, you can guide yourself through it. But some of you are manifesting, like somebody feels really guilty and maybe coming in for an apology. Some of you also just may be shifting your focus away from a loss to being able to see something that is better. Justice. I feel like you're manifesting in justice and balance for yourself. Because you maybe have dealt with things that were off balance. This person who might be coming in and apologizing may have created a lot of imbalance between the two of you. We have the Seven of Cups and the Tree. Seven of Cups is, can be a lack of clarity. Lacking clarity. Maybe you're dealing. Somebody's going to come in that had a lack of clarity regarding you in the past, but they do want to come and heal this situation. If you really feel like it's not somebody from the past, and that is fine. We don't always want our exes back. I feel like you're going to get. Well, for one, you're going to have options. Because the Seven of Cups is also options. And the Tree is health. So healthy options in front of you. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Temperance. Feel like your next relationship is going to be a lot. This is imbalance and this is peace and balance and emotional. I feel like you're moving into something where it's kind of secure and emotionally safe. And you may be conflicted because you may have been dealing with a lot of, well, for one, you might have been dealing with a lot of blind people that don't see very well, that have acted rashly, kind of caused problems. But you're moving into stability. So even if you might feel kind of conflicted because you've dealt with people who, instead of having peace, were just hitting the hornet's nest, you're moving on to, like, all of that effort and energy you've been putting in to create stability is moving you into stability in relationships. Whether it's with this person who may be coming back to apologize or not. Because, again, you've made yourself very stable. You've found some kind of happiness and joy within yourself, and you're manifesting somebody that is in alignment with that. So just know that all this work that you have put on and put in is going to pay off. Again, some of you are dealing with somebody who's returning. Others of you just may be manifesting in somebody who has some kind of past life with you. But it will be something balanced, something tender, something loving. Regardless of whether you continue to deal with somebody, I feel like you might be receiving communication and clarity from somebody in the past. This person, and again, you're bringing in balance with your relationships, and that is definitely something that you have not always received. Who will you date next? Your next relationship. Ooh, Five of Pentacles. Are you having that? I feel like you've experienced a lot of lack, and you might be a little bit closed off because of that. And even though you're bringing in the Ten of Pentacles, it's like things are going to move forward from here. And also, don't get in your own way because of past hurt. Because you have experienced some heartbreak. And you're going to be able to move forward. But it's going to be best that you're not lost. It's like in that. Now, there's nothing wrong with being emotional, but there's a difference between, you know, having emotions and letting emotions guide you in how you treat other people, or just being at the mercy of your emotions, letting your emotions ride you rather than being the person in charge. So, you've experienced loss. Is this going to be happening in your new relationship? I feel like it's just important that you're willing to release this enough so you can move forward into a new relationship. Because you may have reasons to have self-pity, but you kind of don't want to stay there. You don't want to stay in the loss and the lack, because what you are manifesting in is true love, loyalty, somebody who can truly, truly trust. And 333 is on the clock right now, so that might be significant for you. But don't get so lost in what you have lost that you don't allow in somebody that really 100% has your back. You are manifesting in that 10 of Cups, this person that will really have your back no matter what. Don't let other people and other situations take that from you. Clarity on the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, Ace of Wands, new beginning. I feel like you might be really defensive because maybe a lot of people have been very inconsistent with you. And that might make it hard to let anybody in. 7. And again, you may have somebody coming in and explaining that 7 of Swords behavior that might have caused you to have heartbreak in the past. And again, just because somebody's coming back in, if you really don't want to have another cycle with them, even if they've changed, you don't have to. But, you know, the 7 of Swords does lead to heartbreak. And I feel like you might actually be getting some apologies, getting some kind of communication. And again, I don't think that anybody should wait for somebody else to apologize. Not because you don't deserve an apology, but because it kind of puts way too much power in somebody else's court. It really just means that they get to keep being this looming figure. So, for some of you, you're going to have somebody coming back from the past explaining their behavior, trying to move things forward, and it might be hard to move things forward because there has been previous lack between the two of you. There is going to be an avenue for you to move forward one way or another, for you to move towards just somebody that couldn't be more down for you as a human being. And it is because of the hard work that you've been putting in and manifesting. So one way or another, whether it is somebody from the past or you're just manifesting somebody that will give you what you always deserve to have, which is love and respect and loyalty, it is coming for you. And you are manifesting it by putting your work in and finding your own personal happiness. And you are going to have to face your heartbreak, and maybe whether it's one way or another, allowing somebody back in, but somebody that's worth it. because that's what you are manifesting in. You are manifesting in somebody that will be worth it. Who will you date? Your next relationship? Be honest about who and what makes you happy. Again, once you know what makes you happy, you're going to be able to bring that into you. There is no accidental relationships. Our people are placed in our lives for a reason. Again, some of you are having somebody come back around. Some of you, but others of you are just having somebody that is a potentially really significant relationship for you. New chapter. New beginning. The sword. It's the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Truth, victory. I feel like truth and clarity is going to help set you free. And again, even though I do think that you might get some clarity from somebody, don't ever avoid getting clarity from yourself. But it's a new beginning, a new beginning. And being very kind of strong and centered within yourself and bringing in somebody who's strong and centered within themselves. You are bringing in somebody that you are really anchoring into your life. But with that Nine of Swords, you still have this anxiety. You still have this fear because you have dealt with situations that were not good enough for you. People who were blind, who were careless. But what you are going to bring in is really unconditional love, and you deserve it. So this is like a steady, stable connection, something that's really durable. You know, this is not some kind of situation where you're going to have to walk on eggshells. And it's a pair of people who are going to be capable of being really stably connected. Soft heart. So you're going to bring in somebody who has a very soft heart, who is a really good steward for your soft heart. We've got the dragon. The dragon, you know, is something very powerful, very magical, and I feel like this connection is there. The dragon also can have like greed or possession, but I'm not feeling that in as much here. I've got 4, and the number 4 is about stability and angelic. I've got the horse. Now the horse is movement and freedom, and the quartz is about clarity. It's like, again, clarity is going to set you free. We've got the eye, so there's a need to be discerning. And good fortune. There's a connection that's going to bring you good fortune, prosperity, healing. And it's really going to be all through being yourself, being the most authentic version of yourself, honoring yourself. So know that there's a new beginning here for you in love. And there is going to be, like, once you know what makes you happy, you're going to be able to bring it to you. It's that new beginning is going to happen, and it is going to be something that you can depend on. And I feel like you have a lot of wounds around people and things you can't depend on. And it's not always going to be that way. So I hope that helped you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you do want a free reading, I'm going to give away 2 as soon as I hit 8,000 subscribers. So just be subscribed and comment, and you are in the running for that. And if you do want to book with me, my email is in the description right below the timestamps. That's the way to get in contact with me. I don't solicit in the comments. So if anybody does that, it's not me. So just to keep our community safe. And I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much.